Yes, good morning. It's Monday. New day, new day, new day. Weather is looking better. I hope you guys are ready for what's in store. I hope you guys are ready, 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 because I am. So as you come on, do us a favor. Go ahead, like and share, like and share. Good morning, Lynn. Good morning, good morning. It is our time. It's time for us to get up and get going. I'm like over here trying to get myself situated, get my top together. Good morning, Princess. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So you guys see, I am representing Tiffany Tees, and my sister made this shirt just for me. Yeah, y'all, you see the drip on the bottom. It says, "Holy chick." How about that? So good morning, everybody. It's Monday. New day. Time for us to get going. Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning, ladies. Yes, I'm excited. So this morning, I got up and I started moving around. And actually, last night, when we were getting in bed, my husband was like, "Okay, baby, what's the word tomorrow?" And I said, "I don't know. I won't know until in the morning. Once God downloads what He wants me to do, because of course." I never want to do what I want to do. So, good morning, Gifty. Good morning. Good morning. So, as you guys are coming on, go ahead and do us a favor, like and share. So our topic this morning is you already have it. So I know, good morning, Eva baby. Good morning. I know you're looking at the luggage up here and here. You're like, okay, I think I want the one with the Louis Vuitton, with the Gucci, with everything organized, situated. But God gives us all very unique gifts and talents and all of that great stuff. And we're about to get right into it. Good morning, Yolanda. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you guys so much. So I know you're probably like, well, what happened on the Guide Zone this morning? So this week we're doing something a little different. It's personal time to spend time with God on a personal level and worship with Him. So we still have the Guide Zone going on our time. So we're excited about that. But what is it that you already have? Now, when you think about the word strong, when I say, hey, who are some strong people in your life? What's the first thing that comes to mind? Who are those people that just pop up in your brain when you think of strength, strong? Is it a superhero? Is it your grandmother that had 10 kids and yet still, she was able to get them through college, some of them through college? She got them all working. They had good lives. Is it your dad? Is it a friend? Is it even your boss? Who is it when you hear the word strength that comes to mind? And when I thought about that this morning, I was like, you know what, Lord? Sabrina said, okay, who is that person? Type it in the chat for me. I see Sabrina said her mother, her grandmother. Who do you think about when you hear strong? Who is it? As I was thinking about it this morning, something popped in my head, because when I visit my grandmother, sometimes she will always say, Trina, you look strong. And I really didn't know. I'm like, what does that mean? I look strong. Like, am I supposed to look weak? Like, I didn't get it. And for years, I would try to process that thing when she would say, Trina, you look strong. And only to understand that she meant, Trina, you look good, you're doing well, you're thriving, you're surviving, life has been good to you, essentially, is what she's saying from her perspective or from her point of view. And it always sat funny with me. Good morning, Rutho. Thank you for tuning in. Nora says, Big Mama. So the question again was, when you hear the word strong, when you think of strength, who is the person that you think of that comes to mind? I got another question. What about yourself? When you hear the word strength or strong, do you think about you? Are you a strong person based on your perspective, not other people, based on what you see? Do you see strength when you look in the mirror? When someone calls your name, do you feel strength? Do you feel strong? Is that what you think about? Because no matter what we're so busy, and we give those attributes to other people, and we say, I might be, but yep. Sabrina said, I'm most definitely in that number. A lot of us, we kind of put ourselves on the back burner. We don't think of ourselves, but you are strong. You can achieve anything that you put your mind to. You have limitless potential. And, we have to ask ourselves why. Why? Because God chose us for this moment, for this for this walk of life right here, right now. He chose us. Like he packed our bags himself. So whether your bags look like the ones on my right or the ones on my left, whether they're beaten up and tattered or they're brand new and they're shiny, God packed those bags himself. So who am I to say what I am not? Who am I to say what I don't have? He has placed everything that we need inside of our bags. He packed them. You know, I had the opportunity to read Exceptional You by Victoria Osteen, and she gave some real good nuggets and points. And of course, you know, when I'm reading a lot of different things, but this morning she was just really resonating with me. And, you know, I thought about the fact that she talks about we need to unpack our bags to see and receive our gifts. So many of us have our luggage. You know, we come back, and I can talk about my home. When I come home from a trip, I can't let that bag sit. I need to unpack it. My husband, he will let his bag sit. So, you know, some of us, we will live out of the bag. Even when we go on the trip, you know, pre-COVID, I would unpack my stuff. When I got where I was going, I would unpack it and I would put it into the drawers. And I remember friends like, you know, picking at me like, girl, why are you unpacking like you live here? Well, because I want to be ready. I want to make sure that I know where everything is. Even if I can't use it right away, even if it might be too hot or too cold where I'm going, I want to be able to see what's in front of me. Same thing with our gifts and talents that God has given us. We got to be ready to unpack those things. Now, does it mean that we're going to be able to use it just as we see it? Doesn't mean that. Doesn't mean we're going to be able to use it right away. But we have been called, we've been chosen by him. And understand whatever gifts, talents that he has put inside of your luggage, and by luggage, I mean you, yourself, whatever he put inside of us, it's ours. Nobody can disqualify us from it. Nobody can take it from us, because for the plans I have for you, he says in Jeremiah 29:11, plans to prosper. Like, it doesn't matter what other people see or think or how they feel about it. He has packed this bag just for you. He has given you everything that you need. But now let's think. Just like pregnancy, even though the seed has been planted, it's been fertilized, it's ready, there's still a preparation period, there's still a waiting period. So in natural born pregnancy, of course, it's a 9-month period. But sometimes when God impregnates something within us in those bags that he's packed, and we finally open it up and say, oh, God, you've given me this gift of leadership. You've given me this gift of whatever it might be, prophecy, whatever that gift may be, doesn't mean that you're going to be able to use it tomorrow. There's still a waiting period. There's still a time of development that it takes. So just like in the natural, when women get pregnant, you know, we get pregnant, but then we have to go through the trimesters, the first trimester, second, and the third. And, you know, in the first trimester, that's that time period where everything is kind of, you know, finicky. I can remember myself being pregnant with my son, and I was like, Lord, please help me make it through the first trimester, because they say, you know, if there's something that will happen with the baby, losing the baby, even possibly, it usually happens in that first trimester. So I was like, oh my goodness, let me make sure I take care of myself. And that's the same thing that happens with our gifts and our talents, those things he's entrusted in us. We have to take care of it, because we don't know that our period of pregnancy is going to be 9 months. It might be 9 years. It might be 5 years. It might be 5 months. It might be 5 days. Some people are on the fast track. Some of us is going to take us time, because he has to make sure our body is ready for what we're going to carry. Our mind is ready for what we're going to carry, because the birthing process is a very strenuous thing. You know, back in the day, the old ladies used to say, when you're giving birth, you got 1 foot in the grave and 1 foot out. And you're like, oh my God, I don't want to hear that. But it's the reality, because birthing is a very difficult process and so many things can happen. So I want you to think about that, but it's a process nonetheless. Your body has to go through that period of 9 months to get prepared for the push. And in some cases, like my own, I was ready to push in my mind, I was ready, but they had to cut me. I had to have a C-section. So sometimes it's not going to just push and everything snap back like it used to. Sometimes you might have to have that C-section cut in life. Sometimes he's going to have to cut us so we feel pain on a different level, as if the labor pains weren't enough. Now I gotta heal for an extra 6 months with this cut. I have to have this scar. And he like, yeah, you gotta have it, because that's my reminder. Every time you look at yourself, I want you to remember that I gave you this gift. I gave you these talents. I gave you these things. You had to unpack it. You had to go through the process of preparation. You were even ready to push, but I didn't think that pushing was what I needed for you. So I had to cut you. I had to leave that scar so you would remember what this process looked like. And I started thinking, and I said, you know what? Remember David? David was anointed king and went back into the fields. Now, how many of us could have been anointed? Understand, I want you to picture this. You walking into your house, all of your brothers standing there, and the man is like, nope, none of them are the king. And here you come, smaller than everybody in stature. You out there tending to the sheep, minding your business. You singing songs, you doing whatever you need to do out there. And then they start pouring that oil and it falls on your head. And it's like, you will be the next king. Now, every last one of us would stop everything that we're doing. If they didn't give us the crown right then, we'll make our own crown. And we'll be walking around talking about, I'm king or I'm queen. You know what? And we do it now. We wear our shirts with I'm king and I'm queen. But have we humbled ourselves to truly walk into the role of king and queen? Do we know what it is to share our gifts and talents with others? Do we know what it is to serve, to be of service? Because being a king and or a queen is not about just you and I. It's not about us getting all the riches, the golds, the jewelry, all of that. There is a price to pay. When you really look at royalty, it's like, oh my goodness, they got it all. They got it all, but they're carrying a lot of weight. Just like that cut, they still got that C-section cut. Yeah, they went through a process and they go through it every day, and not for themselves, but they got that cut. You know, when I was thinking about David, I'm like, David was anointed to be the next king, but he wasn't appointed to the position actually until 13 years later. And he spent much of his life trying to run from his predecessor, because his predecessor Saul saw that, you know, David was a man after God's heart. So he was just he despised him. He was like, no, I'm gonna kill him, I'm gonna get rid of him. But in those processes, David actually had the opportunity to kill Saul on multiple occasions to vindicate himself, to say, hey, you know what, this ain't gonna happen. But I thought about Michelle Obama this morning. When Saul went low, David went high. How many of us, when that person, no matter who it is, that spouse, that brother, that sister, that coworker, that boss, whomever it is, that person who cuts you off on the road, when they go low, are you going to go high? Do you have to think about it? Do you have to consider it? Do you have to say, well, I don't know if I want to do that because they cut me and I don't like what they did and it made me feel bad. And now I'm in an opportunity to get them back. So I'm going to get them back. Will you humble yourselves? Will you not sink to that level? Will you be vindictive? Because yeah, you're in a position you can vindicate yourself. Is it necessary though? You know, God has told us so many times over, don't try to fight battles in the natural, in the flesh. That's not how you're going to win, because you might win this little battle, but you're not going to win the war. You won't win the war of life trying to get back at people and clap back at people. Yeah, you might be upset, you might be bothered, but guess what? You got to move on. You got to fight those things in the spirit. You have to have that relationship with him so you could go before him and call out the names of those who have tried to hurt you, harm you, your kids, your family, your coworkers. Lay out for before God for them. Pray for that person who's trying to slander your name, who's trying to do it. Pray for that person, because remember, God has given us gifts and talents, but he's not going to let us utilize them or, you know, be able to walk in them until we're ready, until we learn about that germination period, until we learn about the gestational period, until we learn that, you know what, I got to go through some stuff. I'm going to be uncomfortable. I'm going to get big in my uncomfortableness. You know, I have to eat for me and somebody else when I'm pregnant. This thing don't feel good, Lord. My clothes not going to fit anymore. I don't like the way I look. I can't go certain places because it looks different, but I can go some of the same places, but I got to be different in my going. I got to be different because guess what? He has called us and we are a very peculiar, different people. So in some situations, we won't even feel the same when we walk into the place and space. It will feel different. Don't mean I can't have a good time. Doesn't mean I'm not human. It's just as I'm going through what I'm going through and I'm getting ready to birth this thing, it looks different. I got to take care of what he's given me. I have to take care of the gifts and the talents that he's given me. So, you know, when I thought about that, you know, God has packed everything. He put it all in there, every little thing, the strength that you need. That, you know, faith, we gotta bring the faith, but he's given us all of it. He's given us the wisdom. He's given us the knowledge, the discernment, everything that we need in the right proportion is inside of us. He has done it because he's called us. So we don't have to worry about what it is that, oh God, I need to be praying because I need the spirit of discernment. If you need the spirit of discernment, guess what? You already got it. You have it. You just looking for God to tell you something different. So that's different. That's not seeking the spirit of discernment. That's seeking what I want to hear. That's looking at it from my perspective. So be careful. He has packed everything that we need in our luggage. Our luggage being us. We got it. Wisdom, knowledge, discernment, whatever it might be. Stop trying to put God in a bottle and say, okay, Lord, well, give me discernment so I know how to move with these people. And God is saying, I gave you discernment. Before you even started walking, before you were even thought of, that was already in your toolkit. That was already in your luggage. It's already there. So what you talking about? Well, now I got to reflect and say, ouch. Okay, well, I know maybe it ain't discernment. Can you change this situation? Because I don't like what I see. I don't like what it looks like. And God is saying, hey, I gave you the spirit of discernment. I gave it to you from the beginning. You got it. You just don't like what you're seeing, but you're not going to like everything that you see. You're not going to use your gifts and talent to persuade me, God, to do something different. No, you're going to use the gifts and talent to advance my kingdom so you can share with other people. It's not what you want. It's God's will, not our will. It's what he wants for us. So understand that those feelings that we might have of inadequacy, you know, they're just going to test our faith. They're going to test us, but we have to be strong and of good courage, even when it doesn't feel okay, even when it feels like they're wronging you, even when it feels like it's not fair. And sometimes I promise you, it's going to feel like it's unfair. I told you guys, and I've spoken on this many times, one of the things that I asked God to help me with was my mouth, because my mouth was a whole fool. You know, the gift that he gave me also can be a curse, you know, in other ways, depending on how I use it. So I have to be very careful. You know, when I hear certain things or when I'm in certain situations, people might say, well, why didn't you say anything? Because I wasn't supposed to say anything right at that time, because that wasn't the time for me to lose my head. I have to be mindful and careful and intentional with my words, because sometimes my words will not just hurt the person who hurt me or the person who's bothering me. Sometimes it's going to hurt me, especially when God says, keep your mouth closed. You have to listen. You have to discern. Hey, Lexi, good morning, my sister. Good morning. Good morning. So we got to make sure we're careful. We got to embrace that training and prep period. So but in the interim, we got to unpack our gifts. We got to unpack our bags, unpack ourselves, and identify, you know, what gifts do I have? Doesn't mean you're going to be able to use them all right now. And some of us only get certain things, you know, in certain proportions for certain seasons of life. And we got to be comfortable with that, because he is going to give us what we need. You better say it, Dr. Johnson, for our journey. He prepared us for it, adequately equipped, even when we feel like, oh my goodness, I don't know how I'm gonna make it. This is too much. Sometimes he gives it to us. Sometimes he takes a little bit away, but in our need, it's almost like baking a cake. God is baking a cake, the perfect cake. He knows just the right amount of flour, sugar, vegetable oil, red food coloring if you want a red velvet cake. He knows the right amount of baking soda, baking powder, whatever it is, salt. He knows every measurement to the T, and he has placed it inside of us. He's packed it. The bags are packed. Stop looking to go to the store and pick up some other stuff and say, okay, God, for this right here, I need a little bit of this. I need a little bit of that. I need you to give me some more of this and that. No, he ain't saying this no buffet where you're going to walk by and you're going to say, okay, let me get a little bit of this. Let me get a little bit of that. Give me an extra serving of that. No, he has adequately portioned out what you need. You got to get yourself ready. You have to get yourself in alignment. You have to get prepared to be able to use those gifts and talents the appropriate way. It's all about perspective, guys. Development is required through this process. So you're not going to get it and just run with it, because most of us, if we got everything that he had for us right now, we would blow it. We would use it for our purpose, not for his. So something to definitely think about and consider. So family, that's what I have on this morning. I pray that I was able to touch you guys and reach you in a way that it reached me, because it was definitely good for my spirit. So I want to talk to you guys and remind you. So y'all see I'm rocking my Holy Chick shirt made by Tiffany Custom Tees. Tiffany is my sister, Tiffany Cannon. So I wanted to definitely give her a shout out. But I have a young lady that I wanted to share with you guys on. She is actually coming on Wednesday, on Wisdom Wednesday, and her name is Sonia Harris. I'm super excited about her. She is a relationship coach specialist. She's been doing it over 27 years. And so many people have reached out to me and they're like, Trina, when are you going to talk about relationships? And I'm like, at a certain point, I will when God tells me to, but I'm still in that gestational period. So I want to be obedient. I want to walk according to his will. So my sister is coming on Wednesday. So tag a friend, share with a friend. And her book that is about to launch this week is called The Master Key That Unlocks Your Husband's Mind, Body, and Heart. Awakening the king inside of him while embracing the queen inside of you. Again, my sister's name is Sonia Harris, and I don't know about y'all family, but I'm so excited. I cannot wait until Wisdom Wednesday, because that thing hit deep. When I started reading, it's like, wow, uplifting him as the king he is while not losing yourself. And as I read the back of the book, it's like, how do you uplift him and everything he's doing when you feel like you're not getting what you want and or need, more importantly? But you still have to do it, because that's that submission part. So whether you're married, single, whatever, going through in a situationship, in an entanglement, whatever it might be, and you intend to go down that way, guys, I want y'all to join us on Wisdom Wednesday with my sister, Sonia Harris, at 7:30 sharp. You do not want to miss it. I'll be in tune, all ears. So guys, remember, God has given you everything that you need. He packed your bags himself. He didn't have somebody else pack it. He has your bags packed. So whether you got brand new luggage or whether your luggage is a little dated and a little worn, doesn't matter. Everything you need is inside. So I want you guys to have a fantastic morning. Have a fantastic Monday. We love you. God bless you. Take care. Bye-bye.